Hi there! On this episode of Our Week in Homestead, we're going to show you how to make homemade pickled eggs from scratch. So stick around. Hey guys, David and Lisa with Our Week in Homestead. Today we're going to show you how to make homemade pickled eggs from scratch.
Ever since I was a kid, whenever we would empty the pickle jar, I would boil up some eggs and throw it into the pickle jar and make my own pickled eggs. So I'm really looking forward to this one.
We have two different recipes we want to share with you, and the first thing you need is hard-boiled eggs. We have some cooking back there on the stove, but while we're waiting, we'll share with you all the ingredients you need for the first recipe.
Alright, so the first thing we need to do is the recipe calls for a full onion, and so we're going to slice it. And this recipe is our traditional Deli pickled egg recipe. So the recipe calls for holding back some of the onions, and that's so that you can place them on top of the egg. So I'm going to keep this little nub down here, and we'll use that to put on top of the jar. And we'll set these in the bowl. And then we're going to take a saucepan. Probably could have put those onions in the saucepan, but we'll go ahead and put the onions in there. Again, make sure you hang on to some for the end. And we're going to add 2 cups of white vinegar. And we're going to add a cup of water. Two tablespoons of kosher salt. 2 tablespoons of pickling spice. And 5 peppercorns. So now that we have all of our ingredients combined in a saucepan, we're going to put it on the stove and bring it to a boil. And while we're waiting for it to boil, we're going to go ahead and peel our eggs.
While we're waiting for the pickling solution to boil, we're going to peel all the hard-boiled eggs.
This specific recipe calls for 15 eggs. They fit really nice in the half-gallon mason jars. We also use eggs that are a little bit older only because they're easier to peel.
Remember, if you hit it on the bottom, the wide end, makes it easier to peel.
It's just so much easier when you peel the eggs for me. So now that we got it to a rolling boil, we're going to go ahead and pour it over our eggs. So now that we have all the ingredients in the jar and it's all been combined, we're going to set it aside and let it cool for an hour. And then after we get to that hour, we're going to go ahead and place our onions on there and screw the lid on and stick it in the refrigerator. Now let's work on recipe number 2.
This next recipe is the spicy habanero. We love this recipe because we like our eggs to have a little bit of a kick. This recipe calls for 2 cups white vinegar, 1 cup water, 1 cup dark pub beer, 5 habaneros, 10 cloves of garlic, 1 tablespoon kosher salt, 1 tablespoon black peppercorn, 2 tablespoons pickling spice, and a teaspoon of crushed red pepper. We'll have all the ingredients for both recipes in the description below. All right, so I'm gonna pour the white vinegar into the saucepan. Add our water. Our dark pub beer. And if you're wondering why I'm wearing gloves, it's because I'm gonna cut these habanero peppers and I don't wanna get that on my skin. So we're gonna go ahead and just slice these up. We're gonna leave the seeds in. Most of them, I'll cut a little bit of it out, but we want the eggs to be a little spicier, so we're gonna leave some of that in. And these don't have to be precise. It can just be kind of a rough slice. So next I'm going to take the garlic and I'm just going to crush it slightly with the knife. That looks good. Next, I'm going to add the dry ingredients. So we need 1 tablespoon of the kosher salt, 1 tablespoon of the black peppercorns, 2 tablespoons of the pickling spice, 1 teaspoon of crushed red pepper. Now we're going to get this over to the stove and bring it to a boil. Now that we have the pickling solution boiled, we're going to add it to the jar and set them over to cool with the others. Want to make sure to get all this goodness in and not too much liquid. I think we're going to have just enough. Perfect. So it's been a little over an hour now and the eggs have cooled down nicely, so we're going to go ahead and finish them up. We're going to add the onions to the traditional deli style eggs, and then we added the dates to the tops of the lids, and we're going to go ahead and screw those on and store these in the refrigerator. If you enjoy our content and you want to support our channel, the best way is to subscribe and hit the notification bell. We love connecting with you, so please be sure and leave us a comment below. And if you like our videos, be sure and give us a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.